I've got Tom Smith, Ashton Abdul, and Jackson Anderson there right now helping me.
That's nice of them.
Yeah.
If I lived in Omaha, I'd help more often.
Why don't you just move here?
Nah. I'd have to drive here for work.
That makes it better for us.
Or you just find it... Huh?
That makes it better for us.
Work for you?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it just makes it better for us. Makes it easier for us. Yeah, your convenience doesn't even factor into this.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, screw you, man.
Yeah. So tell me again, what am I getting out of this? You're like, what's next? What's coming to me?
Expect something out of this?
I'm lost. I'm still getting all these questions about what's going on.
More importantly, though, are you a hollerback girl? Mama didn't raise no hollaback girl.
It's funny too because it's funny because I'm also getting but like tattletales. Like I've had multiple messages saying there's guys signed up twice. Oh, I'm like, yeah, I'll figure it out. I will delete them.
Oh, that makes me so mad.
No.
We're not live, are we?
Yeah,
live?
we are. Yeah, we're totally live.
Oh, we are?
My face is all red. I almost made myself pass out there. It's like when I was in school and the goody two shoes with the red checkmark pens when you had to what's the word the teacher didn't want to grade. You graded your next door desk's paper, and they got the red check mark. They were just waiting to put red marks on your paper. They signed up twice.
I'd always get the kid or the girl that would be like actually grade it. It's like, come on, man. You know?
Yeah, I know.
Don't grade it. Just like, just get
really
give me
grade
like an 80. You know?
Yeah. All right. I think that cleans it up. So, holy crap! What a weird day. What a weird day. Okay. So, check this out. This is Alex Sturgeon with the Hobbytown HobbyPlex. Here with my co-host as normal,
Will Brinton.
And we're here to drop some bombs today on the HobbyPlex Show podcast, which is sponsored by Pivot Lending Group. You can locate them at pivotlending.com. And if you mention our show, you're supposed to talk to Don Zoller. But of course, we think it's funny if you call up and you say, "Hey, I want to talk to Aiden Olson's dad," and
hilarious,
totally hilarious. And you can get yourself a $500 lender credit or 0.125 off of your rate. They're the full-time sponsor of the show. That's how we're able to come to you weekly. So with that, we got a bunch of stuff to talk about. We had a huge weekend of racing, and I was all ready to talk about that. And then we started getting race results from other races that some of our locals have gone to. So I wanted to talk about that. And then I'm in the middle of building the track for the Techno Series. And what comes down but new state health requirements that limit capacity to 25% for events. And
no,
yeah, that's the biggest thing, really. The other ones, the other major ones that would affect us is you need to wear a mask if you're in close contact with somebody for more than, say, 15 minutes, is what it said. So the employees at the HobbyPlex are already wearing masks. I don't think that necessarily includes people in the pits, because in the pits, the way that we're going to have it set up is you will be several feet from one another. 6 feet or whatever it is. So, and then the 6 foot thing is mandated now too.
Really?
Like before it was a guideline and now it's a mandate. So I guess they're going to have like 6 feet police. I just see like government agents with 6 foot sticks walking around like Cartman saying 6 feet, 6 feet, 6 feet.
Yeah.
Stay 6 feet away from me. Mom, you're within 6 feet.
So.
Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen. Exactly.
Holy crap! There's 19 things on my thing here. That's a bummer.
18 things on your thing.
Yeah. So.
Man, I always do this. I always order the wrong axles for my B6.2. I'm always meaning to get the +2 or the ones that come in the kit, and I always get the regular ones. And I always screw that up. I always get the wrong offset axles. Anyway, what were you saying?
Oh, I don't even know.
No, that's fine.
I'm still going through all these. Oh, you know what? I gotta reply to this. Not anymore. They dropped our rate. So the Holiday Inn across the street used to be the host hotel for the HobbyPlex for the last 15 years, and
yeah,
they got this new manager guy, and I called up there to talk about something, and he mentioned that our rate expired in December and they didn't want to renew it. So now we don't have a host hotel like we always had.
That's kind of dumb for them.
Yeah, I would think so, right? It really bummed me out. I mean, I think it was almost like unfortunately, it was a retaliatory move because we had a problem with theft over there, and
yeah,
I don't think they liked that apparently. So now we don't have a host hotel. So whatevs.
Well, don't stay at was it the Holiday Inn?
I'm not going to come out and say don't stay there, but because I don't know.
Just go to the other hotel.
Yeah, there's a Fairfield. There's a Fairfield there.
Yeah,
they won't really
go to the Fairfield. Support them. They're cool.
They also won't give us a rate, so
that's okay. They're better than the Holiday Inn that their employees steal from you. I don't know. What do you say to that? It's awful.
Yeah. So that's the big news is 25% capacity. That's the main thing that affects us. So what we have to do now for the Techno Series, because it goes until November 30th. Who knows? It'll be extended. Of course, our race is this coming up Saturday. So very quickly put out there. This is how I very quickly put out there a RC sign-up page, and it's limited to 75 people or households. And so we're back to 8-foot tables again. So instead of 4-foot spots, because we have
plenty of space.
Yeah, we have 75 pit spots, and that's what can be taken up. So the last I checked it before I came to here because my phone was dead, and I was running behind. I ran into the store and I looked it up, and we were already at like 50. I did see 1 or 2 people signed up twice, and I already deleted their names. So, yeah.
So, with this being Nitro, do you think it's more a common practice for a lot of the hardcore Nitro guys to have trailers? If you could have guys like commit to saying they're bringing their trailer and they're going to pit out of their trailer, in the parking lot,
yeah. I mean, the only thing is
camper or something. Could you add people like we could count on that?
I think with this one we probably could. Yeah, I think there could be several out back. Hopefully it's not too cold out. I haven't even looked at the forecast for this week. I don't think it's going to be too cold. I don't believe. I don't know. Maybe I should look at that now. Oh my goodness. I'm reading.
And now for your HobbyPlex forecast for this weekend.
No, I'm getting sidetracked because I was trying to answer all these questions about the sign up thing, and I'm reading. I stumbled upon a high school friend of mine that
Ooh.
is posting this stuff where it makes me cringe to read it, and
Cringeworthy, yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, I'm just, unfortunately, some people are so skewed in their views that really, like, I kind of want to, like, get rid of Facebook altogether.
Yeah.
But it's been a pretty good tool for the HobbyPlex as far as advertising goes. So
I know.
And it's also right now the best way to spread information about any racing that we do. So it's not like I can just drop it cold turkey. Right? So
yeah. Right. Going cold turkey is not as delicious as it sounds.
Yeah. Huh, that's weird. I'm just Ryan Clemmy just said that the Hobbytown rate still worked at the Holiday Inn.
Nice.
Maybe they didn't get the memo. That guy sure was a jerk face to me on the phone though. So maybe they got rid of him.
So exploit
it.
this.
Yeah, go to the Holiday Inn, get your $84.99 a night, and make it happen.
Mm-hmm. And don't say anything about it. Just get it.
Just get it. Don't say,
and
I thought it was
thanks.
Done. Yep.
Let's see how long we can keep this going.
Let's milk it for everything that it's worth.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be great. Let me turn down my phone here. There we go. Woo! Man, I'm all aflutter. Look at my hair. Look at this. Look at how frizzy my hair is today. Look at how frizzy that is.
Oh.
You know what I hate about? So go ahead.
Frizzier than normal.
Dude, it is frizzy. I went back and I watched my after hours from this week, and I hate doing. That's a bad thing for me to do because I went to the doctor about 2 months ago, whining about my hair because I feel like I'm losing the back of my hair back here. And my doctor says, "No, you're not." I'm like, "Are you sure?" Because I clearly see a bald spot back there when I review past video, and she told me I wasn't. But then last night, I was rewatching part of this the After Hours show, and there it is. It's right there. So I don't know. Kind of sucks. I don't want to lose my hair.
Yeah. I've always had really fine hair. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. My hair's really, it's like angel hair pasta. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just really fine hair.
Okay. I want to mention, I've never actually felt your beard, but if I grew a beard, it would stab Gretchen's face because my whiskers are hard. They're
That's
like,
why my mustache is so long.
Yeah.
It's sharp. Like you could cut diamonds with this thing. But it's freshly trim and sharp. It's not deburred or nothing.
Right.
It's a stabber.
The hair thing really bugs me though because it took me 25 years or so to finally come to terms with my curly hair and embrace it. I guess I embraced it a little bit earlier because I started the RC Tech handle Froboy. That was my RC Tech handle.
Yeah.
And that was when I was like 18, 19 or whatever. But to truly be okay with my super curly hair was right around like my lower 20s. I used to get picked on a lot when I was younger, like in elementary school and junior high and stuff because of my hair. And it seems like now that I'm cool with it, it's falling out. That sucks.
Yeah.
Getting old
I
sucks.
used to have, when I had a mohawk and stuff, I'd get like, I don't know, I'd get kind of picked on. Like there was this time I was walking down the hallway, minding my own business, and somebody like just grabbed it and like pulled me to the ground by it.
Dude. That's
And
not
I was
cool.
like, so you think I get mad
Yeah.
when somebody calls, like, I don't even remember what happened, but I had to go home early that day.
Yeah. Super lame.
And then I had everybody's respect. It was like prison.
Nice.
Awesome.
So that's the big news today, right? We touched on that, right?
What?
Online sign up for the Techno Series. By the time this podcast comes out, we'll be well into practice on Friday. So, but for the YouTubers, that are listening to us on YouTube, on the HobbyPlex show,
Spread the word.
Spread the word, please. If you don't get in, I'm really sorry, but we do have to cap it at 75 people. But like Will said, if you're gonna be in the trailer outside, you know, I think that would be
and you're double wide.
That would be an exception. I'd be okay with it with dude, I'm so lost. My brain's not functioning now. Maybe it was because I spent the last 14 hours or so in diesel fumes. Could that affect my cognitive ability?
Maybe if you're weak.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. I don't know.
I'm on here Joe Bidening it. I'm like, I don't.
Yeah, you're like,
you know what I'm talking. You know it is. Oh.
Where am I?
Where? What?
Which button do I press?
Give me the new codes. That got dark really fast, didn't it? Give me the new codes.
It's a yeah. Geez, Alex, too far.
Sorry.
Hey, let's not make this a political show.
I'm not. I just. Anyways. Did you see the other races going on this weekend? Because we had a big weekend. What did we have? We had 42 on Friday, 93 on Saturday, and then we had 48 on road day. We had
really?
Yeah, we had a really good.
That's a lot for on road.
That's not
How
too
many
bad.
entries is that all weekend?
I think last year though they were averaging around the 60 or so.
Yeah, but like I think that there's a few people that may not come just because of the virus and stuff.
Yeah, I know.
But still, I mean that's pretty good. Yeah. I think.
There's the Fall Classic that happened this weekend down in Hutch. Yeah. And Aiden Olson went to that. And he won 4-wheel drive mod, and he got second in 2-wheel drive mod.
Yeah. Awesome. That's really good.
Pretty good. And they were on full slicks.
Yeah.
Just like the race I was just at. And the Fall Classic the last 3 or 4 years, it's been going to slicks earlier and earlier and earlier.
Yeah.
I think they were on them. I saw pictures of primes on practice day.
Really?
Yeah. So, I read his post. He said that it was his first race on full slicks. He's never actually been to a race on slicks like that before.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not my favorite thing to drive on, but yeah. I don't know. As long as we're racing.
I know. I don't know what to think about the. I didn't think it was that bad down there at Beach RC. I mean, it was about.
It just depends on how many. It just depends on how many runs you can get out of a pair of slicks and still be fast. I mean, if you're one running slicks, no, thank you. But if you can run slicks for like, I don't know, 3 your qualifiers, then you put a new set of slicks on for the main.
Yeah,
that's not too bad.
I think down there at Beach, I think you could get away with multiple runs on a single set of tires. I think that's what did me in is I put on a brand new set and I thought they'd be great and they weren't. Of course, I ruined him, I guess. That's what I'm thinking. But still. I'm looking to see if there's any other quote-unquote locals. Kind of all the... Ken Peterson did pretty good. The Reuben Kings went down there. They all looks like they all made A mains. 40 plus. I think Tony Leatherman won that. The whole thing.
Nice.
Or maybe AAA main results. 40 plus mod AAA main results. Yeah, Leatherman won it. As he should.
That's cool.
That's his home track too. So should feel right at home. Be nice and comfy. I think.
Yeah.
I think Ashton, not Ashton, Ashley McCormick and Easton McCormick went down there.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to find them here. See if they're on here. Not too much dead air. Oof, I don't see too many A mains with McCormick's in it. Where's the Pro Light? Oh, there he is. So two-wheel drive. Ashley McCormick got fourth in two-wheel drive short course truck. And I think, is it four-wheel drive? Oh, yeah, and then he got second in four-wheel drive truggy, mini truggy. Which, by the way, I got one.
You did?
I did.
Which one did you get?
The Techno ET 2.2.
Hmm.
I built the diffs, and then I put everything in the box and started working on the track. So hopefully I get done with the track early enough to where maybe Thursday night I can thrash on it.
Are you going to race it this weekend?
I was going to try, but the way things are looking right now, I might not have time to get it done. I mean, I'm going to have to, stay up all night, which I'm not very good at doing anymore. I used to be able to stay up all the time. Now, at 11 o'clock comes around, I'm in bed.
Oh, really?
It never used to be that way. I mean, I could stay up for hours.
I was never that way until I finally got a CPAP machine. And now I'm good with hardly any sleep. I mean, you know what I do. My stuff's not right. I come home and I'm working on that thing for the next day.
Yeah. I go home. What I usually do is I'll be at the track. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take all this apart. I'm going to work on this tonight. And then I get home and then I get in my garage and then I look over at my car sitting there and my tools and stuff. And I'm like, nah. And then I go inside and I turn on The Mandalorian or something. And then I go to sleep.
Yeah.
That's what I do now. Probably why.
I try to think about having how mad I'm going to be the next day if my car doesn't work.
Right.
And that's my motivation to work on my stuff.
Well, that's probably why I'm not fast anymore.
I don't think about it. I don't even give myself a chance to think about it. I just run in and start doing it.
Yeah. That's probably why I'm not fast anymore, don't you think? I don't have that drive anymore. I'm just whatever. I'm just going to leave this here.
You're still fast. I mean, you're doing good in pretty much every class you ran at beach. I wouldn't think you're not fast anymore. Because that means it doesn't mean that much when I beat you anymore. So,
ain't that the truth? That's the truth.
Yeah.
The Alabama manufacturer shootout was also this last weekend, which is why our Techno Series is coming up and not last Saturday because originally it was November 7th, and I saw that they rescheduled the shootout on that date, and I'm like, well, I know for a fact that a bunch of our normal Nitro guys would go to that race.
Yeah.
So, God, there's so many classes. I'm trying to look here. A-main results. So it'd be the Nitro. Let's go to Pro Electric Buggy, and that's the A2 main. Because I know that the usual suspects, the Fullers went and did really well. Van Dalen, Seth did really well. Jared Wiggins did really well.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the Fullers really kind of knocked on some doors out there.
Dude, Mason was blown out in one qualifier, and like his last 4 or 5 laps were the fastest laps of the qualifier, and he made the main, I think.
Mm-hmm. Mason Fuller
Just throwing down some heaters.
Yeah. He finished 5th in Pro Truggy, right in front of Cavallari and right behind Joe Bornhorst. Wiggins finished 9th. Seth finished 11th. You had a really good weekend. He's not a local, but Brandon Rose, man. He was doing really good down there.
What cars does he drive now?
Dude, I don't even know. I haven't stayed up on that.
I know he was with Serpent for a while. I don't know if he still is or not.
That's true. I didn't even think about that. Let's see.
If you're listening on YouTube and you know, text me or Alex on Facebook.
Mason Fuller won the 15 and under buggy main. Is Mason 16 yet? Or not? Of course he wouldn't be because he's in 15 and under. But how soon before he is 16? It's got to be soon.
I don't know.
Because have you seen him lately? He's like a man.
Yeah,
he's not like a young man. He's like a man.
Yeah.
He right now he looks like a younger, skinnier version of his dad.
Yeah.
Let's see. So we did that one. Let's look at the AAA main. Oh, where's Pro Nitro Buggy at? Oh, there it is, right there. Let's see. I know Cavallari won that one. And Seth finished 10th. Mason 11th. Jared Wiggins was 14th. So, again, the 3 of them making those main events. And then I think in the intermediate class, Caden just destroyed everybody. Right? It's intermediate nitro? Yeah, look at that. He won the intermediate nitro A main. And then where's Buggy at? And he won the intermediate nitro buggy A main. So he won both intermediate classes. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, Ian Maury was in that too. So the Maury's went down there. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And then 2 more here. We'll look at the here's the multiple main event things. So Mini Truggy was nope, nobody we know. Oh yeah, there he is, Jason Maury. He looks like he finished 7th. Let me bring that up. Yep, there he is. Finished 7th with multiple mains. So they ran two mains, double mains for electric classes. That's pretty cool. Yeah. I think he's running the Losi, the TLR, or not the TLR, but the Velocity conversion. Right?
Oh. Chance Rolk says a Gamma is what.
I did. Running. You know what? I did see that because Tyler Jones was doing really good too, and then Brandon Rose, they said teammate.
Yeah, both those guys.
I drove in a Gamma before I got my Mugen for the 18 Nats. I was driving a whole bunch of different cars, and I actually did like the Gamma a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, because you drove my car and you're like, you know what? Car works really good. And I was like, which one? And you're like, a Gamma. I was like, what? And I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then I bought a Mugen.
Yeah. Whatever.
So Pro E-Buggy was, looks like Mason Fuller finished 11th and Seth Van Dalen finished 12th. So they were right next to each other. Right behind Jared Tebow, actually, finished 10th. Mayfield took that one in 2. And then you know what's interesting? The other thing I noticed, like the Nitro Buggy Pro main at the shootout was Ryan Jared.
Yeah.
Right? So how many years has that been going on now?
I don't know.
What, 20?
It's a long time.
Like 20 years now?
20 years. Yeah.
It doesn't seem to want to quit, those 3. They're not quit, but like they're not falling off.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think Nitro races also, in my opinion, suit like wily veterans almost sometimes better because they've had so much experience with what can go wrong that I feel like their cars are almost more solid, and they have, I bet you they understand how the track can change drastically from qualifying to mains and how to be prepared for that more than somebody who's fast but just starting out with nitro. Does that make any sense?
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. It's kind of the news of the industry so far this week. Did you see the mini B that I got?
I did. It looks pretty cool.
It is really cool. It's it handles better. Like it's handles better than Mini T. Like the Mini T is fun. Don't get me wrong, but it does on carpet, especially. It grabs a lot of traction and can actually like just flip over, and be kind of hard to drive. But this car, not so much. I think the skinny front tires and the length that they added to it to make it 1/16 scale helps with that a lot.
That's pretty cool. I would really like to see some other manufacturers come out with those
Two-wheel drive.
18 scale cars.
Two-wheel drive too. I think would be really cool.
Well, see, now that I brought this up before, like I always really liked 18 scale because it gets people started, you know.
Mm-hmm. And you don't have to have a whole lot of space. Like we could have a track in my basement.
Yeah, I know.
That could be kind of fun. Just have a bunch of friends over and 12-pack and go at it.
Yeah.
Then it doesn't matter if you get tacked or anything.
And backyard tracks are like pretty dang. I put that on the wrong side. They're pretty dang important, like for racing.
Yeah.
Like, and people don't realize that, you know, like just because it, or even just RC sales in general, like it just gets people into it. You know, and a lot of the backyard style racing, like drag racing, for instance, that's like really popular. You can just go out in your street and kind of test and tune for no prep style racing.
Yeah. And there's several groups that come into the store that don't even know each other. That they're like there's an entire family that comes in and does drag racing. And they've
really?
kind of dabbled in some of the organized stuff lately, but for a while there was like 2 or 3 different just groups of families or friends that were just all into drag racing and didn't even know that each other existed. And then Sunday they went over across the street to that new parking lot in front of Linex. Is that what that is? Linex?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they were doing
the Linex building?
Yeah, they were doing drag racing there on Sunday.
That's cool.
I thought so. I guess it's smooth enough. I didn't even think about that when they built that, but it's so weird.
And see, like, well, and people, they don't know if it's not smooth enough. They're just out there running their stuff and having a good time.
Yeah.
You know, that's what's important about that.
Yeah, no doubt. That's why guys put 8-scale motors and rustlers and Arma Centons and Typhons.
Yeah. Typhons.
So before we get into results, I'm going to change stuff up here. We have a couple questions about the COVID thing again. And so John Haas is on here, and he's like, 75 limit for races with COVID restrictions, ? And that's kind of, yes. So basically, it's 75 people because we have 75 pit spots. So in order to maintain 6 feet, right, we can't have 2 non-household members at a table. And so what we did in the spring with the summer series, round 1 was affected by COVID restrictions, was we limited to 75 people because 75 is our capacity. So our official capacity in the HobbyPlex is like 312 or something like that. So if you take that down to 25%, which is what the state of Nebraska has right now, as of 1 o'clock today, that leaves us with 75. So, or just around 75. Like if you include me, Although it says something about like excluding employees or whatever. So that's why it's a 75 limit. We have 75 pit spots, so everybody will be spread out. Obviously, we talked about it today. We kind of had a little mini managers meeting on the phone, and basically, we have to make sure that we remind everybody that, try to stay away from one another. Wear a mask if we're still outside of the city limit mask mandate. So if you don't want to wear a mask, or if you're like, against it or whatever, nobody's gonna give you a hard time. But it'd be nice to see more masks, being worn in the pits. And then, that's about it. I mean, it's just kind of sucks, but that's just the way we got to go about it to try to manage through this whole thing. I got to be honest with you. I was pretty devastated today at about 2:00 when I read that. I'm like, you got to be kidding me! Not again.
Yeah.
It's just like a punch in the gut, because you think, even though the numbers have been going up, the deaths haven't been crazy. So, it was one of those things where, in my mind, I was like, well, are we gonna go crazy again with restrictions, or are we gonna, not have it be as bad? And I guess they're not shutting places down, right? So it is kind of in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I thought. It was like, it could be worse, but
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I feel naked without a mask.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm longing for the day where we don't have to wear them anymore.
Oh, me too. But I mean, if I don't have it on,
I will
right
say,
now,
I will say that now I was very close to becoming a Karen about 3 days ago, because I was in I was in BP, and it's inside city limits, so I'm wearing my mask and I'm standing in line, and I'm on the, they got the stickers on the floor, and I'm standing there and I'm holding my kickstarts and whatever else I was buying, I can't remember, and this guy comes in, and he's like 70 something, and okay, this is gonna sound brutally bad, honest, but there is now, I've noticed, now that we've been doing this long enough, there is a stereotype of people that don't wear the masks. And I don't know if you've seen it down there in Lincoln. I don't know if it's different. But up here, if you have a giant silver belt buckle and you're wearing like a plaid shirt of some sort, there is no way in hell that you're wearing a goddamn mask. And it's that way up here everywhere, especially in West Omaha. Like, I get on Reddit and I read people here in Omaha, a lot of them are, I can't believe that people aren't wearing masks, blah, 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 blah. And I said this last week. I said, well, don't go to South Carolina, because down there was a citywide mask mandate in Myrtle Beach and nobody was wearing masks. Like, Gretchen and I got looked at weird because we were wearing ours. But up here,
yeah,
most people are wearing masks. Most people.
Mm-hmm.
But this day, Mr. Belt Buckle guy came in, and instead of going to the back of the line like regular people do, he just kind of moved in front of me. And I was like,
yeah,
I had my mask on, and I was like, what the hell, dude? And I tried to like get him to hear me, and I'm wearing my mask, and I wasn't very loud, because I'm also trying not to be in confrontations, especially about the mask thing.
yeah.
So I'm standing there, and this guy like moves in front of me, and I grab I have these two things in my hand, and I throw my hands up like this, like, if you're on YouTube, I'm like, right?
Yeah.
And I look like I'm just flailing around, and then I turn around to make eye contact with this person, and it's a woman, and she's not wearing a mask either. And then I was like,
yeah,
I was like, what the hell?
mm-hmm.
And I almost, and then after that, after the old guy went away, I saw another dude with the belt buckle walk in the other door, and you could see him. He walked in and he looked at everybody that was in the thing, and then just strolled on by and went back to the beer. So good for him.
Yeah. Having a beer. Huh.
So
That's interesting. So nothing happened? He just bought his stuff and left?
Yeah, he bought his
Didn't
stuff and
even notice
left.
what you were doing?
Didn't even notice what I was doing. And that's okay. But I told the guy at the register, I'm like, dude, I'm about to Karen up in here on these people. Like,
Yeah.
Like, why
He
aren't
was
you
like,
wearing
"You
a
go, girl."
mask? Like, I don't want to be that guy, though. Because I don't, I
Yeah.
mean, you know.
Well, why did he cut you? Because you're like giving 6 foot between you and the other person. He was walked in between you?
It's like when you're driving.
That's annoying.
It's like when you're driving down the road and you're trying to keep 2 seconds behind the next car in front of you, and the turd burglar goes in there and takes that 2 seconds away. You know? Ugh.
Yeah, there's this guy at the gas station when I got off work the other day, and he was like, he came up to my chest, was easily like 400 pounds, walked with a cane, and he was like mumbling something to the lady behind the cash register, and then when he walked out, he had like those pants that were like, they used to be regular pants for somebody that's like really tall and big, but they're like cut off at the knees because he was so short, but there were pants on him.
Oh, okay.
And and he was like, "Oh, I don't care. I mean, I can do better than you," or something like that. He said that to the lady behind the counter and was like walking out. And I was like, "What the heck?" And she was like, "I don't know what's wrong with that guy." And then like 2 days later, I'm in there. The guy works there. And he's like flipping out, and like he keeps like putting his mask up, and it like falls off because it's all worn out and haggard, and like I don't know, he was just, I don't know, it was just really weird. I was like, I don't know, I'm never going back to this gas station.
The Casey's near my house actually will tell people as they're walking in that they need a mask, and there's been 1 or 2 times there now where the first guy that I saw in there, we were all waiting in line, and he went up to go purchase stuff, and the girl behind the counter, she's like, "Sir, I can't serve you because you're not wearing a mask." And the guy's like, "Are you serious?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm not going to ring you up because you weren't wearing your mask." And I'm like third in line, and I'm like going, yes, all right, yeah. If I have to wear a mask, that guy has to wear a mask. That's what's going through my head. I know I shouldn't care, but that's what's going through my head. And
Sure.
And so finally, the guy's like, you know, he's like, "This is ridiculous," and he's like, I don't know what it was, but he turned and looked at everybody that was in line, and we were all wearing masks, and he just smirks. I'm like, and I wanted to say, I'm like, dude, just put on your mask. Like, put on your bleeping mask is what I wanted to say. But that was right after my bike accident when my ribs hurt and I didn't feel like getting in a confrontation.
Yeah.
And, but then the other guy came in and they said the same thing to him, and he just walked right past him. He's like, he puts up his shirt over his, over his nose or whatever, like a douche canoe. And
the old shirt mask.
Yeah. And he's like, "You guys are supposed to give us masks." And they're like, "No, we're not." I'm like, "Nope, sorry."
Mm-hmm.
And
there's a lot of Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's fine. But then the QT, I went to a QT at 84th and L. Nobody cared. Nobody said a word. Not a word.
There's a lot of places here in Lincoln that they just have it on the door, like, "We won't serve you," or whatever, "Mask required for entry."
Yeah.
I haven't been to the motorcycle shop that I go to in months, just because it's not somewhere I have to go, so I just don't go.
Yeah, no. Anyways, back to the depressing. I thought this was over, but now it's back again.
Mm-hmm.
Wah, wah.
Like Groundhog's Day.
Wah, wah. Yes, exactly. I was actually thinking about that over here. I'm like, the Groundhog Day analogy comes into play here.
Mm-hmm.
Another question right underneath of that was, so are the tables first come, first serve? I mean, basically, you have to sign up online. So if you didn't sign up online, you don't get to race if we're full.
But if you do sign up online,
then
do you get a table before you get there, or
then
is it first come first serve?
it's
on
just
tables?
it's just first come first serve on tables.
Okay.
I'll have
saving tables. Can you save tables for
yeah.
people?
Oh yeah, we'll just
Okay.
like we always do. We'll if you want to save tables, if you want to hit me up, I'll save you a table. It doesn't matter. But yeah, it's the pit spots are basically first come first serve, and but you do still have to sign up online.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah, so just sign up online. Everybody save you a spot.
yeah, exactly.
There we go.
Everybody's going to get a lot of space at this one, which is abnormal for us. So 4 feet still.
And it's not like we like this, it's just, we're just trying to play by the rules so we don't get in trouble.
Yeah.
Is what it really amounts to. So it's like, for the guys that might make a joke out of this, it's like, we don't like it any more than you do.
Yeah. I mean, the worst thing that could happen is having a Douglas County sheriff show up at our place and tell everybody they got to go home. So,
yep. That could happen.
There's a couple questions here that I'm going to save to the end when we actually do our question and answer. And,
real questions?
Yeah, real questions. And let's see, what are we in? 40 minutes. Let's take a break. We'll do the pivot lending break here, and then we'll get into some race results and finish her up so I can go back to working on the track.
Okay.
And now a word from our sponsors.
This is a Pivot Lending Update with David Olson and Don Zoller. Get some.
This is David Olson with Pivot Lending, and with me is
Dawn Zoller.
Dawn is in charge of our Nebraska, Iowa production, and we're just taking a minute to talk about break-even analysis on refinancing and exactly what you want to be prepared for so you're not getting fooled by just a drop in rates, because there's more to that calculation than seeing the price tag of an interest rate note drop. Let's just say you're currently at 4.5 and it goes down to 3.75, and you're thinking this might be a good time for me to make a move from the 30-year that we just closed on the purchase into another 30-year. So I'm going to let Dawn talk about the details of that, and also invite anybody listening to contact Dawn. And if you have your most recent closing disclosure and also a mortgage statement, feel free to, again, contact Dawn, send that information over to Dawn, make sure that you have it encrypted, and we can figure out kind of what it takes for you to break even on any sort of refinance. And at that point, do you think that you will be in that house for more than 3 years or 5 years or 6 years, whatever that break even point is, and then following up with the additional months that you would save as an aggregate in that savings bucket. Dawn?
So when I visit with someone who's interested in lowering their interest rate, first thing I do is have about a 10 or 15-minute conversation with them, go over their current mortgage, what they owe, what their interest rate is, how long they've been in it. Mm-hmm. And then we kind of talk through what the rates are now, what an interest rate would be for them based on credit history and that kind of thing. And then run some calculations to kind of let them know how many years it's actually going to take them based on what they're saving monthly to recoup the cost of doing the refinance. Obviously, you've got closing costs and you've got to set up a new escrow account, that kind of thing when you do a refinance. So we want to make sure that you're not putting money out just to get a lower interest rate if it's not going to benefit you in the long run. Mm-hmm. If I can't see them recouping their costs in 2 to 3, 4 years, maybe anything longer than that, a lot can happen in 4 or 5 years. So it doesn't always make sense to do the refinance just to get a lower rate if you're not planning on staying in the house very long, or, you're possibly going to be looking at a job transfer, that kind of thing.
That's a really good point, because in our servicing portfolio, I think the average turn time, I think it's 5 years now, or 4.5. It used to be 7. Mm-hmm. So we could count on a mortgage being on the books for 7 years. And again, that's kind of why the 10-year bond is something we look at for a 30-year mortgage, because the amount of time it's actually going to be on the books is, we used to think 7 to 10 years, but now it's more like 5 years. 7. Yeah, 5 to 7. Mm-hmm. So you're exactly right. The closing disclosure tells us, let's just say total closing costs are $2,000. Most of the time it's a little higher than that if you're escrow or funds to close is a little bit higher than that. But if you really want to break even analysis, you have to not only take in what your future costs are going to be, like on the closing statement, but you have to go back and prorate your last closing statement. So like if you refinanced a year ago and that refinance cost you $3,000, you need to prorate out your 12 months based on that $3,000. And let's just say there was still $2,000 left over out of that. So you almost have to take that $2,000 plus the new $2,000 or $2,500 and call it $4,500. And normally we don't see back-to-back refis so close because of COVID and all of that. So we traditionally just look at the closing disclosure and make the analysis on that. But I think everybody kind of needs to think about that. If you purchased a home in January, or there was even a period in March, it was like 3 weeks where the rates were 5%.
Higher than 5%.
Yeah, it was nuts. So they came out with the new servicing rules and the investors.
Forbearance.
Yeah, and everybody just backed out of the market. So if you purchased a home in that 30-day window, chances are you've got a 5% rate. But you have to take a look at the aggregate of the total, the systemic costs within, the last year, 3 years, whatever that break even amount is going to be. So.
Right. And when the equity in homes is growing so fast right now, we try and roll those closing costs into your loan.
Yep.
But if you're refinancing every year, every 2 years, and then in 5 years, you get ready to sell your house and you ask yourself, why don't I have any equity? Well, because you've used it all to refinance 3 times.
Right.
So that doesn't.
It's like trading up cars.
Sense. Right.
Right. It's like you're constantly upside down. So if you're out there and you've refinanced or purchased within the last 12, 24 months, just make sure that you have your previous closing disclosure and your current mortgage statement that you can provide to Dawn so that we can take a look at your entire picture just to make sure that you know how long it's going to take for you to break even. Because if you're just going off what the current proposal would be to refinance, which is probably what 80% of our industry does, it's a little misleading. And so that might tell you it's going to take you 3 years to break even. But when Dawn actually does the total math and takes in account of all closing costs prorated on the previous closing disclosure, it may be a 5-year break even. So, which is still okay. But to Dawn's point earlier, a lot of things can happen on that 4th, 5th, 6th year. And we see that in our servicing portfolio. So just the benefit may not be there as much as it might be in that 3rd year. Because if you break even in 3 years and you have 24 months of that interest savings, that can be pretty significant based on your loan amount.
So if you're looking to possibly do a refinance, see if we can get your interest rate a little bit lower, we want that free analysis on how it's going to benefit you, if it's going to benefit you, feel free to give me a call, 402-715-9082, and we can go through your current mortgage statement, current closing disclosure that you did for your last mortgage, and see if that's going to benefit you to refinance.
David Olson, NMLS 16099. Don Zoller, NMLS 277589. Pivot Lending, NMLS 109995.
We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
Ooh. More questions about the entry thing. Keeps
That's
coming
fine.
up. I'm not going to bring it on here. I've been answering on my phone.
Yeah.
My face is all red. Was that because we were doing that stuff early in the show?
Maybe.
Or is it because I've been inside of a building with diesel fuel for the last 12 hours? I can't tell. That light's kind of hot. Maybe that's all it is. There's a hot light there. So we had, you want to get into some race entries? We can talk about Friday. Friday was fun.
Yeah, race results.
So we had 42 entries on Friday, and we had, it looks like, let's see here. Let's see, mains. How many Plex specs did we have? Where are they at? Boy, he packed those plexers in the mains, didn't he? Looks like 21. We had 21 plexers. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Steve Wall took the win in Plex. John Haas finished second. John comes out on Wednesdays usually and practices. Hopefully the track will be done by Wednesday for you. And then Jesse Ellithorpe was third, and I actually talked to him. He just ordered from us a 2.0 Techno Buggy, actually.
Nice.
Yeah. Then it was John Sorensen, Michael Smith, Hector Sorensen, Mike Gablehouse, Ethan Farrington, Dylan Haas, and Anton Yurka, I'm going to say. It's Jirka, which I would assume would be Yurka. Like the J is kind of like a Y. That's a cool name.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Emerson, I brought Emerson out on Friday. He was not having it. He just doesn't feel like racing lately.
Huh.
He wanted to race this slash, and then we kept breaking the shot caps.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So.
One of our recommended upgrades.
Yeah, exactly. From last week. Good callback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely. 13.5 four-wheel drive, so a whole bunch of the kind of middle Iowa, Fort Dodge-ish area guys came out. Bradley Peterson, Tyler Fleming finished first and second. Tim Marks was third, and Jesse Ellithorpe was fourth. Looks like Ronnie Went either didn't start that one or maybe got, I don't know. Let's see what happened there. And then two-wheel drive mod, you destroyed everybody. Almost got 12 laps.
Mm-hmm.
And Mitchell Pavel got second. I got third. Actually, no, that's not right. That's not right at all.
Yeah, because Tom Smith's transponder didn't count.
How did Mitchell get in front of me? I thought I lapped him. Wonder if I missed a lap.
Maybe.
Because I know it was Will, and then Tommy got back around me. I thought I was third, and Mitchell was fourth, and then Eric Wunschel was fifth. And then Emerson, I thought he was going to race, and then he just didn't want to run his buggy, so he just kind of hung around. And then E-Buggy, he put all 10 cars in the main for E-Buggy. And, it was Ashton Abdul, who's at the track right now helping me out, or at least was. He might have gone home by now. Mitchell Pavel was second. Bryson Pavel was third. Nick Pavel was fourth. All the Pavels are right there. And then Tyler Fleming, Bradley Peterson, Ronnie Went, and Daryl Wallen. And it looks like Steve and Eric did not get a start.
Did Mitchell race Friday, Saturday, and Sunday?
Yes, he did. He had his pit spot there all day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
God, man, because I was like, yeah, I'm gonna race on Friday and I'll race on Saturday. What the heck? And then like Mitchell was there both days, and then he brought his on-road stuff with him too.
Yep.
And I was like, well, I bet he's racing all 3 days.
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, he rolls like that. That's for sure. So we'll switch over to the Carpet Syndicate again. I think this is the biggest. Well, not think. This is the biggest club race we've ever had. So the Syndicate, it's a point series, but I don't think of it as the same level as our summer series. As far as like draw, but I think it is that way for a lot of these guys though.
Mm-hmm.
So we had 92 entries on Saturday. And I went back and I looked, and the first carpet crash-in we ever did only had 80.
Yeah.
And the second carpet crash-in we had like maybe 80-something. So this club race actually beat our big race. Last year we had 117 entries, but the first 2 years. So.
And we got done on time.
Dude, we flowed right through. We only had 14 heats, so it was nice being able to pack all the heats together.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of helped with that for sure. So Plexspec beginner Grant Noonan came from behind to take the win over Daniel Bender. I thought Daniel was going to be gone. Grant made a really good, sweet move to get around Daniel, and then he crashed over the tabletop in the middle and got marshaled like last. But he came back to win. I think Daniel's last 3 laps, I looked at him, they were all kind of all over the map, but Daniel's last 3 laps were pretty rough. But it's Plex spec, you know, you're going to catch up to some traffic, and it's not like these guys are just going to move, because that's not what 6 and 7 year old kids do. They want to race. Easton Mosier finished 3rd. Nevin Sneathen, his first time on the carpet this year, finished 4th. Jamie Peevler, at one time I think was in 3rd, finished 5th. Cody Mosier was 6th. Camden Mosier was 7th. And Zach Schlottman was running a Rustler in 8th. And he did a good job of making the Rustler carpet proof. You got to take, on the Traxxas cars, if you're going to run Traxxas two-wheel drive cars on the carpet, you have to take the rear bumper motor guard completely off, because the motor guard, we figured out last year, if you leave the motor guard on, it'll actually jab into the carpet and tear it up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it sags underneath of the chassis just ever so slightly.
Mm-hmm.
So we figured that one out. So that we were going to have 2. I think somebody else was going to run a Slash, and they ended up not doing it. And then stadium truck. So you'd be proud of me. I actually worked on my stadium truck a little bit. I put a gear diff in it, and I changed the axle height to match carpet, so I could get the proper dog bone plunge for carpet. And it worked. My truck was really good. A lot easier to drive that way.
Yeah, no, I bet.
Because with the dirt setup and the dirt axle height, like, I felt like that truck was going to flip over all the time.
No, it definitely looked like it was staying a lot flatter than normal.
So I took the TQ and win in that one. Dayton Mosier pressured me early, and then I kind of got away from him. He finished 2nd. Caden finished 3rd. He was farther back, like an opening lap crash or 2, but he came back to beat his dad. John got 4th. Ryan Hodgson finished 5th. Phil Palmer was 6th. Matt Mosier was 7th. And TJ Geese was 8th. And I think TJ and Matt both got the bump from the B main. So that was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Truck's fun. That being said, I think if I can run 2 more times, I think, and because what was that, round 4?
I don't know.
I think
it's the first one.
I think it's
first one I ran.
I think I wrote best 5 out of 7 or 6 out of 8, something like that. So if I can score maybe say a first or a second in the next 2, then I can put that truck on eBay. Like my plan.
Funny.
My plan was to buy that truck, race it at Beach RC, and then turn around and sell it. But I'm having so much fun on carpet that I'm like, I'm going to keep it for a little while.
Yeah.
Expert Chance Rolk pretty much dominated the day. He figured something out, because this car was pretty much, I wouldn't say untouchable, but pretty close to it. For a little while there, the battle for second between Mike, Dayton, and David, they were catching Chance at one point if you watch the video, and then they were nose to tail for almost the entire 6-minute run, and so Chance was able to get that extra lap. So Mike got 2nd, Dayton Mosier got 3rd, David Peeler 4th, Dylan Reef was 5th, Caden Berdine was 6th, Kenny Danley was 7th, and John Berdine was 8th. John had a rough day in qualifying. He was dead last after the resort. It worked his way up into the B main.
Hold on just 1 second. Hold on 1 second. My card crashed.
Oh. His card crashed.
What kind of card?
SD.
Yeah.
Oh.
SD card. Interesting. So will it save?
So are we at?
You're good.
Will it save the rest of it?
It should, yeah.
Oh,
The rest of it
okay.
should be saved.
All right. Did we use up all the data?
No, not even close.
Oh, weird. Yeah.
All right, you're good to go.
Okay. So, anyways, where was I at? Yeah. David Peeler was 4th. Dylan Reith was 5th. Caden Berdine was 6th. Kenny Danley was 7th, and John Berdine was 8th. John worked his way up into the A main, and from basically dead last after the resort because he broke in that first qualifier. But Chance led this one from start to finish. Did really good. I think it helps to have a pink car, like a very bright fluorescent car.
Yeah.
I have to start doing that. Mod 2-wheel drive. So Tom was here getting laps again. He's going to that race in Florida in 2 weeks, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And his car looked pretty good. It, the track that he's going to is going to have probably longer jumps than ours,
Yeah.
but it is on black carpet, so he's getting good. He's getting good practice.
Yeah, and I was telling him, like, if anything, our track's going to have, it's going to feel like it has more grip since we have the pads, like, on pretty much every spot that you turn.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because those can kind of grab your car. So I told it, like, if anything, his car's going to get easier to drive when he gets out there. So
Yeah. Derek Wood finished second, just 1 second in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was Riley Filbert, who was first time on black carpet as well. He, I guess, moved up here from Topeka, if I understand that right.
That's what he's saying, yeah.
And Mitchell Pavel, again, running all weekend. He was fifth. Caden Bairden was sixth. Dayton Mosier was seventh. And David Peevler was eighth. You were having kind of a rough day, and then it got way better.
Yeah, like my setup I ran last year didn't work as good. So I made some changes, and I wish that I would have made them for the second qualifier, but and I wasn't saucing, and I sauced for the main, and my car, it felt about the same, because I did in practice. My car was better when the sauce wore off. It was just like a little freer and more predictable.
Yeah.
So I just quit doing it, and then my tires are like clapped out, and so I was like, how often are you guys saucing? Oh, every run. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll put some goop on. So I gooped my tires, and I lightened up my suspension some. I was running like 45 weight front oil and 40 weight rear, and that's what I ran all last year, and I couldn't get my car to go through that stutter bump section to that roller onto the straightaway.
Yeah.
And my car would just get like so out of shape on that. Like I was just like barely like rolling through that. And then once I lightened my suspension up, I went to 30 weight rear and 32 and a half front, maybe 35 front. I think it's 32 or 35 front oil. And my car, I could just like accelerate through that whole thing. So it's like you'd hit that 180 coming onto it, or those stutter bump things, and you could just like gradually roll onto the throttle. And then once your car turned to go on the straightaway, you just rip it and launch and land onto the straightaway. It's perfect. And it actually got easier to drive in the infield. But I did that for the main. I didn't know how it was going to work. So it's like, oh, I can kind of learn how to redrive this thing. And my last few laps were probably my fastest.
Yeah.
But it was weird because my car started off good. I ran like a 14.1 in practice. And then I was like, well, I guess I'm right there. I didn't really think much of it. And then my car just kind of started falling off. So I don't know if something with the grip level kind of changed or what. But
yeah.
But I got it figured out.
Yeah, it definitely looked better for the main.
Yeah.
Looked way more competitive. We had 2 heats of mini T's. We had a mod and a stock class, and then I was going to throw them all in together for qualifying, but Tony Price wanted to run both mod and stock. He had 2 mini T's, so I split them up, and then he went home. So I was like, oh, well, okay. Yeah. Now we can just put everybody together again. We scored them separately. So Jake Poteet actually won the whole thing. Oh, no, he didn't. Sorry. Jake Poteet won stock. Derek Wood, his mini T is pretty fast. He did a 15:08 in a mini T. He would have qualified. No joke. He would have qualified top of the B main in stadium truck.
Yeah, and imagine like if we weren't screwing around and he like took it seriously.
Yeah, which you're not supposed to. I hope nobody ever takes mini T seriously.
No, but like I bet he could qualify for the A main in stock with that thing. That's how good and smooth that thing looks.
Brian Keever finished second in stock. Caden Bairden finished second in mod. Jana Peevler finished third in stock, and Grant Noonan finished third in mod. Grant Noonan, he was having a good time with that little mini T.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tony.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, anytime Bearding would crash, we kept putting him onto the straightaway to
I
get him
know.
caught up to Derek. It's pretty funny. Like every single time he crashed,
Tom
I'd
reached
get his
out and
car, I'd
grabbed.
run
Tom reached out and grabbed Derek's car once too, and, like held on. to
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
pretty
but
funny.
anytime that he'd crash near me, I'd get a hold of his car, just put it on the straightaway.
Yeah. 13.5 four-wheel drive. He had Chance Rolk TQ and win this one too. Again, I think he figured something out with his cars. Mike Sanders got another second. David Peevler finished third. I think he crashed after the tabletop right at the start and then worked his way back up there. Corey Tannehill had a good run. He qualified 7th, finished 4th. Hogan Miller qualified 8th, finished 5th. Nick Pavel dropped down to 6th. Ryan Hodgson was 7th, and Dylan Reef was 8th place, if I can speak right. And then your last race of the day for off-road, Dylan Reef came back to win that one in independent buggy. Nathan Hogan Miller was 2nd. Joe Schnoes was 3rd. Then it was Kenny Danley, 4th. Jake Poteet was 5th. Phil Palmer was 6th. TJ Williams was 7th. And Derek Noonan was 8th. And that capped off the biggest off-road club race on the carpet we've had ever. So that's really good. Finally, we have the winter series. We had 48 entries. And let me get to the A mains because I think there's only 5 classes. So, oh no, there's more than that. TCS Spec. So this is the one where everybody runs TTO2s.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got like a spec battery, and they all have to run, I think, 21.5 motors. I think that's right. Or you can run the brush motor. Not at the TCS race, but at these weekly or the monthly club races. So this was an actual winter series. This is round 2 of the On-Road Winter Series. You had Nate Anderson winning it. Mark Ebner was 2nd. Ben Seidlick was 3rd. I hope I don't kill that name because I know who that is. Jim Hungate was 4th. Barry Eveland was 5th. Tom Quidinsley was 6th. John Murphy was 7th. So I think there was just 7 total cars. I did see John's car break, so I think he was up there battling with Nate for the win.
Mm-hmm.
In USGT, which is 21.5 touring car, basically, with cool bodies on them, not those ugly, fugly touring car bodies that they have now that don't really look like anything. These are all fairly realistic cars, you would hope. Maybe. I don't know. They're kind of getting loose with that, too. I mean, some of the bodies look like spaceships, basically.
Yeah.
Mike Clement qualified 2nd, finished 1st. I TQ'd with my X-Ray, I think 2015 or whatever it is, and one little bobble, and I gave up the lead. Mike was probably faster than I was anyways, but it was a pretty really fun, close race the whole way, even with the bobble. I made a mistake on the straightaway. Didn't crash, didn't need a marshal, kept going, but I was offline, and Mike got underneath me. Instead of turning down into him, wrecking us both, I had to give up the spot. And then I just stuck to his bumper the whole way through. It's fun. Dennis Reardon finished 3rd. Kenny finished 4th, Ken McKinney. And Chris Tyler finished 5th, and Mitchell Pavel did not start. He's driving that Mugen touring car. And he keeps breaking it. He actually snapped a belt. And we don't.
I forgot Mugen made it. Electric touring car.
They have a new version of it out now too. So, let's see. The next day main would be Euro Truck. So this is even more of a spec class. So they're basically TTO ones with the semi. What do they call those? Well, Euro Truck. That's what they call them. And you can't change anything. You can glue the sidewalls of the front tires, and I think you can put bearings in it. And I think that's it. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
So Tim Ski won this one. Chris Tyler finished 2nd. Mark Edmer was 3rd, and Barry Eveland was 4th. So there was only 4 racers for this one. However, this Wednesday, so in 2 days, will be the ETRL race, like number 2 or whatever. And basically everybody who races at the Plex has one of these. And they'll all be there to race that. And I think they have to do like pit stops with stickers and stuff. They try to make it fun.
Stickers?
Yeah, so you pull into the pits, and then they take a sticker and they put it on your truck to show that you pitted.
Oh.
Yeah. It's interesting.
So like, if you have somebody that can put the sticker on faster, that's more better.
But it's the same person putting the stickers on each car.
Oh,
So they have a
okay.
sticker guy, and yeah, it's not really, it's not necessarily a team sport.
Oh, okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Pro 10, so that's 1/10 scale pan cars. There was a class of those this time around. Mike Clement got another win in front of Kobe Krell. Benjamin Fenton finished third, and Will Frericks finished fourth. And then in Formula One, which I got to be honest with you, I kind of want a Formula One car again. But God, they're expensive.
Yeah, they're expensive and they don't look like they handle very well.
Yeah, I know.
But it's still a fun car.
I know. Meow. Ken McKinney qualified second, finished first. Tony Cook finished second. Craig Moline TQ'd but finished third. Dennis Reardon was fourth. Bob Foster was fifth, and Mason Ebner was sixth, and Jim Hungate was seventh.
Yeah.
Then the Trans Am A main. What were you gonna say?
Yes, that's cool.
Yeah. Trans Am, Tony Cook's got a really fast Trans Am. His car is always really good in Trans Am. He also posted the fastest lap. Nate Anderson finished second. Dennis Reardon was third. Chris Tyler was fourth. John Murphy was fifth. Ben Seidlick was sixth. Mason Ebner was seventh. And Mark Ebner was eighth. And then 12 scale. So Mike Clement got 3 for 3 in his classes. He finished TQ'd and won. Craig Moline was second. Kobe Krell was third. Benjamin Fenton was fourth. Bob Foster was fifth. Will Frericks was sixth. And Chris Tyler was seventh. First, second, and third did not change position to how they qualified. So that's kind of interesting. So, it was a big weekend of racing. I think a total of, 92 and 90. So about 180 entries or so. And we won't have another one of those type of weekends for at least a couple weeks because this Sunday the track's open for practice. It'll be right after the Techno Series. I don't think Tim likes to schedule anything like dirt oval related on the after Techno Series because the track gets so brutalized.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm gonna build that sprint car that I have. I think and come out and race it. So
nice. I just
They
realized
race those on Sundays.
Yeah, so the next dirt oval race I believe is well actually let me get my calendar out. I have all this stuff. The 29th. And
Okay.
I just realized that so we're not having Family Friday off-road on the 27th. So for November we're on off because the 27th is Black Friday, right?
Yeah.
We are having carpet off-road on that Saturday, though.
Yeah.
And I just realized that. So I'm actually scheduled to work all day on Friday because it's Black Friday. So I might end up putting the track up on the 26th on Thursday, I'm thinking.
Yeah. I have Black Friday off.
Nice. We come up and practice.
Dirt or carpet?
Carpet.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll do it right now, baby.
Let's couple questions here on the YouTube, and then we'll wrap her up.
Okay.
So GT. Oh, this is something I think we should start doing. And even though I know we don't get a lot of viewers, but I think I'm going to turn on Super Chat the next time that we do one of these.
Ooh.
So my idea with that is somebody can pay us to get to the top of the line here with questions with Super Chat. So
okay.
if they do like $2 or whatever, then they're highlighted and their questions like big and I feel like if we turn on Super Chat for the YouTube thing, if a Super Chat comes up, we basically have to stop and answer that question right away because they paid for it.
Yeah.
Right?
That'd be cool.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, we should definitely. No, yeah, makes sense to me.
All right. But for now, we'll just do these in order that they are received. GT Fakey asks, how do you lower ride height? Feels I've been trying to figure this out for a while. So
on which vehicle?
that's a good question. But I can say from my experience at the store that there is some people out there that don't know what those black clips are for on their shocks. I get this I get this all the time with ready to run stuff. They're like most of the time it's the opposite. They want to know how to raise their ride height, and I'm like, well, you know that bag of stuff you got with your car that has black clips in it? That's what those are for. And then they go, oh, I threw those away, and then they end up buying more of them. But if you got shocks like that, you can just take that clip off, and then your ride height should be lowered. But what happens like Nick Sneathen was trying to get his ride height set on one of his cars, and the spring perch was too long.
Yeah.
So we had him go to like on an associated car, you've got a 0 millimeter spring perch. What is it, a 5? And then like an 8? Yeah, like that right there. So the 0.
So, like, that's the long one.
Yeah. So the longer the spring perch, it pushes the shock up. So if you, like on carpet, especially with my truck, I put the rear spring perches at 0. That's how I can get my ride height super low.
Yeah. And, you kind of judge it like, if your ride height, you have your shock where it's like, oh, there it is. You have the shock where it's like no gap, and your ride height is like exactly where you want it, where you're running 5 offset. You probably want to go to the 0 and then have that adjustment for later.
Yep.
And if you have your ride height set and your front springs like move up and down, and your ride height's where you want it, but you have you lift your car up and the suspension settles and the spring like moves around because there's no tension there, you want to put the longer offset cup on it, like the next step.
I need to do that to the front of my truck because I've been letting my springs float like that.
Yeah, and the reason why that's a bad thing is the spring moves around, like, so when you pull throttle, your car is going to move back and unload the front suspension. Well, your springs are floating around, like they have no purpose in life,
right?
And they have nowhere to go,
right?
And they could get caught in between like the spring and the cup. So it could be offset like that, and then it'll raise your ride height, and then you lift it up again, and it goes blink right back in there, and it's it's constantly moving around, and you don't want that. So, that's the only reason why you wouldn't want that. So,
here's a good one. Jason Haley asked this on After Hours, and I kind of thought I tried to answer it, but I'm like, you know what, that might be one you might want to ask Will. If your chassis protector is 0.5 millimeters thick, should you take this thickness into consideration when setting your ride height?
No.
Wouldn't that just be part of the chassis then at that point?
Yeah, it kind of is. I mean, I don't really, because you think about it, like your car drags on that and it's still ground clearance. So, yeah. I mean, I have never.
I would just
try.
I told him to just treat it like put your chassis protector on and then set your ride height like you always would.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know anybody that adjusts ride height for the chassis protector thickness, but on dirt, I don't run a chassis protector. I don't like the way my car handles with one.
Yeah, you really shouldn't. It almost it sticks to jumps.
Yeah, that's I figured out a long time ago. Is it rings to the track when your car lands.
Yeah.
And it just does weird stuff, like if the track's kind of wet.
Yep.
But I only run one if I have to.
Yep.
If I'm running on a track that doesn't require one for carpet, I'm taking it off.
Right.
But our track does require one, so I run it. Yep. But that's my opinion. I think your car handles different with the chassis protector, and it could just be in my head. There's a lot of fast guys that run chassis protectors. Yeah. So
I got one more. What would cause, this is Nick Sneathen, what would cause my 4-wheel drive steering to feel super twitchy on carpet?
Man,
Well,
tires.
but so another thing that I think a lot of new people to carpet don't necessarily think of is dual rate on your radio.
Yeah, dual rate. But if he's running front tires with inserts in them, like take the inserts out. Like on four wheel, you don't want to run any insert in your front tire.
Okay.
Because it makes your car crazy twitchy.
Okay. Interesting.
Because it like pushes that pin or like on a swagger, like it just like drives that pin into the track and doesn't give with the insert in it. But without the insert in it, it makes your car a lot easier to drive.
Okay.
So that's one thing you could do. And I know like a lot of people glue their front sidewalls
Right.
on four wheel especially, and I would do that. The other thing on carpet, and a lot of people don't think about this when they set their steering throw, is so when I show you on my two wheel here. Well, actually, I have So I always when I set my my dual rate, when I have it all the way over like against the lock, like I wanted to just touch that, but not bind up this camber link.
Yeah.
So if you have this like pulling, white knuckle steering wheel all the way over, and it pulls on this and pulls this away, and you go to turn this and it doesn't move freely, or it's binding, that's essentially making your suspension way stiffer on that corner.
Yep.
So pretty much giving you like either no suspension or like it's just making your suspension feel stiffer. And when that happens, just kind of like I talked about the pin getting driven into the track harder, that essentially just drives your front tire right into the ground and it pivots on it and it makes it like really hard to drive. Because like you can get your car to do different, like feel completely different just by having the dual rate set up incorrectly.
Yeah.
It makes a huge difference, just overall twitchiness. That and toe, like if your toe's like crazy toed in, you're not running zero or maybe like half a degree out, that could make your car twitchy too. And given that your camber's set correctly.
Yeah. So there you go. Glue the outside wall of the tire. Check your endpoint adjustment so that you're not stressing out your front suspension and binding it up essentially. And take the foams out of the four-wheel drive fronts.
Yeah.
Those are 3 things. I like it. Okay, well, I got to go back to the track, go back to work, and finish up this Techno Series layout, and come back tomorrow and keep going. So
yeah, I hear you there.
So there you go. That's it for us. Make sure that you check out Pivot Lending Group. You can find them at pivotlending.com. And if you mention our show, you can get a $500 lender credit or 0.125 off your rate if you go through with a home loan or refinance. And make sure to ask for Don Zoller. Or you could always ask for Aiden Olson's dad. Why not?
Yeah. Aiden Olson's dad.
Aiden Olson's dad. So with that, we're going to sign off. And we appreciate you listening to us. And if you're on YouTube, man, thanks for tuning in. I hope you like this ad-free version of the HobbyPlex Show podcast because I don't monetize the HobbyPlex Show podcast. I don't know if you guys know that or not, but it's not monetized. We just want you guys to watch. So that also means that I don't have to split any money with Will. So
yeah, not yet, anyways.
Okay, so there you go. We'll see you guys. We'll see you guys later.
All right, see you guys.
Bye.